a couple of questions about ICE. Has your family been affected by ICE? Anybody here? Tell me about what's going on. We gotta get video too.
The next question is.
Ok, aquí estamos con, ¿cómo se llama, Carla?
Arturo.
Arturo, estamos con Arturo aquí en el parque de Richie Valens. Ok, un parque que aquí viven pura raza aquí en este lugar. Y estamos aquí para preguntarle unas preguntas. ¿Qué crees que se puede decir del pueblo latino que votó por Donald Trump?
Podemos decir, para mí es una gente ya que está cometiendo como racismo.
Es como la raza está cometiendo racismo.
Está cometiendo racismo porque está discriminando a nuestra propia raza. Sabíamos lo que iba a suceder y lo están discriminando. Todo por no tener papeles nosotros y ellos por tener papeles.
Pues está diciendo que la raza que tiene papeles.
Mucha raza que tiene papeles discrimina, pero mucha raza que no, aunque tenga papeles, está a favor de nosotros todavía. Okay. Igual.
Okay. Y la otra pregunta es, considerando la división que existe dentro de nuestra comunidad entre mexicanos, otros llamados latinos como brasileños, salvadoreños, hondureños, por ejemplo, ¿crees que podríamos cerrar la brecha entre nosotros al darnos cuenta de que pasamos por la misma lucha y que a los ojos de nuestros opresores todos somos iguales?
Sí, todos somos iguales, aquí todos venimos a lo mismo, no importa la raza o no importa del país que venga, aquí todos venimos a lo mismo y el que puede y el que no puede, no importa de qué país sea, no porque yo sea mexicano, Estados Unidos va a estar a favor mío, no, aquí el que viene de donde viene y venimos a lo mismo, porque no vamos a decir porque tú eres de Salvador, eres mejor que el mexicano, no, aquí nadie es mejor que nadie, aquí todos somos iguales.
Ok, gracias por eso. Gracias. Ok, aquí estamos con Roberto en el parque de Richie Valens, aquí en San Fernando Valley. Y estamos aquí nomás para preguntarle dos preguntas. La primera es, ¿qué crees que se puede decir del pueblo latino que votó por Donald Trump?
Pues porque la regaron, porque está muy mal la cosa, todo lo que está haciendo no está nada bien, hace puras cosas, está haciendo puro que no sirve, pues. No está fregando a los latinos.
Ok, la otra pregunta es, considerando la división que existe dentro de nuestra comunidad entre mexicanos y otros llamados latinos, como brasileños, salvadoreños, hondureños, por ejemplo, ¿crees que podríamos cerrar la brecha entre nosotros al darnos cuenta de que pasamos por la misma lucha y que a los ojos de nuestros opresores todos somos iguales?
Pues sí, es que pues todos tenemos que hacer la lucha por hablar así uno para sobrevivir mejor aquí. Es que es mejor, pues toda la gente batalla. Y ahorita todos los que andan allá para, ¿cómo se llama? El canal de Panamá, se están devolviendo porque querían venir para acá y los regresaron. Está duro. ¿Y qué hace uno? Pues más de aguantar la vara, o sea que por causa de él. Así está la situación. Es lo que pueden hacer, ¿qué más? Echarle ganas, es todo. Ponerle ganas al negocio, al asunto y pues trabajar, es todo. Uno viene a trabajar y si le toca las malas, pues ya, ni modo, pero uno echarle ganas, pues es todo. Ponerle ganas duro. Es todo lo que puedo decir, pues qué más, nomás ponerle que toda la gente le eche ganas y no se rajen, más de aguantarnos y vámonos, echar para adelante, todo para adelante y nada para atrás. Y es todo.
Okay. Pues gracias mucho por la entrevista.
Hey, this is Priest's Officer, Quadacia Island, ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana. And today we're with
Eddie.
What do you think as far as, in your opinion, Donald Trump targeted the Hispanic community on deportation, but has not targeted other immigrants like the Chinese, the Arab and Iranian or deportation?
I personally think it's a little bit unfair because if you really notice, majority of population here in Pacoima, where we're at right now, is mostly like Central American, Hispanic, Mexican, and stuff. If you ever go to every store, all you see is Mexican. So I feel like personally, it's like he's just aiming towards us, like in a very like I don't know racist manner, which is so funny because his wife is like immigrant too. So in my opinion, I just feel it's uncalled for because I feel like majority of Mexicans, they all have, they always see them. They're always like, they're just about working. Everybody just works and stuff. They have their money. They have to take care of their families. They're not here to go do stuff like crazy stuff. You know how you say supposedly they're rapists, child molesters, and all that. That's like mostly for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he makes it seem like if us as people that actually take care of our kids, our families and stuff, makes it seem like we're still bad. Like. But I just think mostly it's like more like it just goes deeper because just because he's a white president, you see a bunch of white people. Like if you go to like Border Ranch or something, I personally feel like, yeah, I just think it's messed up. Me personally, I didn't vote for him. I'm not political, but I do listen to each individual and what they think and say. And I personally, I don't know, man, that's just insane. It's like I don't know. I feel like I just think it's crazy to be honest.
So I got one more question for you. As far as the Latino community that went out and supported Trump and also voted for Trump, do you feel at this time that he has actually betrayed them?
Like you think that like they betrayed our race and stuff?
Right.
I think so. Because I've had individual friends of mine that one or two maybe. Like I don't really talk to them as much, but they voted for him, but not for the reasons that he's the racist part, but they voted for him in a way because he's like, oh, Trump's gonna give us all this money and stuff like that. He's gonna make these possible. Like, I guess they just to use him for his little financial gain towards like people. Like he said, supposedly he's gonna help mostly taxpayers, like our taxpayers or people, hardworking Americans and stuff like that, to get most of their pay or something like that. Then I get taxed for it. But I personally think I don't like it. Yeah, I think it's messed up. You basically you're kind of turning your back on a Hispanic community, especially because all you see is Latinos right here.
Right.
I think it's like a slap in the back. Me personally, if somebody like they say that all immigrants should, because I've seen on the news how they say that all immigrants should be deported, and the person that's saying is Mexican. So you're basically saying your parents should just be gone too. So I just think they're just whitewashed and fucked in the head. I think, in my opinion, I personally think they just get slapped or something. That's just my opinion. I would slap them in the head for that. Well, that's just me though. Not to be violent, but I feel like if us as Latinos like gathered together, not marching in a peaceful way, how I've seen it, and we kind of do it in a way where like Malcolm X did it, like in that way. You know what I'm saying? How they actually listen to you, and you got to do things obviously like through violence. I guess I think in that way they'll listen to you more, rather than the Martin King way, where it's just all peaceful. But you can't go based on that because he's just being racist towards everybody. It's just how I would deal with it. I don't know how everybody else thinks, but I personally think like if I wanted to make a statement, how we're doing it right now, it would be like the Malcolm X way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man, for your time. With that being said, man, shalom. What we doing? I'm just saying that. All right, no sweat.
I drink my horchata warm because fuck ice.
That's right. That's good right there.
All right, so I'm Precinct Officer Oscar Ward with the ISUPK, and we're here today with
De la Mora.
De la Mora. Okay, so we just have some quick questions for you. The first one is, why do they say Latinos bring crime when most of us are just looking for a better life?
Well, who's saying that? We're not saying that shit. And when you look at crimes, you got to look at all the crimes they're doing. Just the other day, ICE is busting in without a warrant. So that's a crime in itself. Who's following what? So how the fuck are we gonna, follow these stupid ass rules that they make when they themselves don't follow them? You feel me?
Got you. Right.
And you got to remember who crossed the ocean to get over here. Feel me? Mm-hmm. We got to go back to basics.
Right.
When it comes to that,
right.
We got to remember that.
100%.
So
we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear that.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, we are the original inhabitants of this land. So how the fuck are these fools coming over here making rules?
Right.
Feel me?
100%. And the other question is, if everyone in this country comes from immigrants, what right do they have to decide who stays or who leaves?
Again, that's what I just said. It's like these motherfuckers just came, you know what I'm saying? Came destroy. All they brought was fucking death and destruction, you know, to this Western hemisphere that was already doing its own thing. You know what I'm saying? So they come and now they impose all these stupid ass rules, and then they make us seem like we're the criminals for just migrating in our own land, in our own territory. This is all our shit.
Right.
So
100%.
yeah, that's how I feel about that. And I mean, it's just facts. It's not even how I feel, it's facts. So
100%. So one more question. What's your opinion for the Latinos who are in support of Trump and who voted for Trump?
they gotta look in the mirror, man. They gotta look in the mirror. They got the shit backwards. I mean, just listen to the shit he's saying. This is a man that's constantly gotta say that he's the strongest president, that he's like, you know what it is? When people in the room gotta say all of this shit, it just means that they're not. It means they're weak as fuck. And we gotta remember that we outnumber these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So we're the motherfucking majority. So we have the power. The people have the power.
Right.
And that's why we're out here, you know what I'm saying? Representing.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. All right, the water for that. Thank you for the interview. This is the ISUPK under Commander General Johanna.
It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Johanna, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Johanna. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men and war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK.
Negros indios nativos somos los verdaderos israelitas. ¿Esto dónde lo dice? Esto dice en la Biblia.
Show that Puerto Ricans love America, but that ain't reality. Police attack was planned beforehand. Only white cops were assigned.
Then our only recourse is to defend ourselves.
We tried to move people onto the sidewalk, but the police were all out for blood.
Another series of protests was staged by thousands of students, parents, and the Brown Berets. In June 1968, the group that had become known as the East LA 13 was released on bail.
Demonstrate to our people and we deserve better and that we could, get better.
I don't think there's ever been a time when we need more of the spirit of the young lords than today.
I guess we had no fear. We just did what we thought at the time was the right thing to do.
Captain of the Black Panther Party. They are making it their business to process arresting me and my wife, to a process of arresting numerous Panthers on the block.
Police just went in and started beating them viciously. It was ugly. They were just yelling at us, you dirty spicks, dirty Mexicans, who do you think you are?
Hola, Juan, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Come, sir, I can hear you.
Hey, Shalom, Christ, can you hear me?
Sir, I can hear you.
Salam alaikum. Yo, bish bukatam.
Hey, yo, sure, with us, sir. Hey, yo, sure, with us, I don't want you.
Salaka, can y'all hear me?
We can
hear you. We can hear you.
Come. Hey, what's going down? Israel Shalom, Rasa. Yahbashim Shabrakata to the Canales. Yahbashim Latapashim Yahbashai to the Mujeres. You're tuning in to another episode of the Inconvenient Truth. And of course, the topic we touching tonight, we're gonna go more into what's going on, man. We're gonna go more into what's going on with this whole situation with César Chávez, of course, current world events, things pertaining to the raza. You understand? Tonight's episode is titled César Chávez and the Silence Around His Victims. Who's telling the truth? You understand? I must say, man, that I don't know how you Canales feel, right? But what I've been seeing lately online in response to the allegations to César Chávez is mind-boggling and disturbing to me at the same time. Because what it shows, right, sir, is that Israel really suffers from a respect of persons.
Right.
Israel really truly suffers from a respect of persons. And the way they're talking about Dolores Huerta, the way they're talking about the victims, you understand? The way they're talking about César Chávez, now I see why that pastor that gets accused of abusing children, that gets accused of abusing, church members, gets away with it for so long, right? Why justice doesn't get served. Because for some reason, when it comes to pastors, when it comes to high political figures, when it comes to, someone in high, just that's well known and well respected in the community, somehow they're innocent until proven guilty. Meanwhile, your average everyday, if it had been, for example, anybody else, a lot of these people would have been thrown, you know, it'd have been no doubt about it. You understand? Been the opposite. It would have been guilty until proven innocent. You understand? Now, my issue is not, you know, the whether you're you know, innocent or proven guilty. My issue is the respect of persons that we suffer as a community, man. That really plagues our community. And that's why these situations happen and these predators get away with these things for so long. What's it like, sir? Are you?
Oh, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are defending Chavez right now. A lot of Chicanos. A lot of Chicanos are defending Chavez, saying he's a historical figure. You know, he fought for farmer rights. And right now they're saying that it's the cancel culture.
Right.
They're trying to cancel him out because he's raza, he's Mexican, you know. And you know, they're saying, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the paperwork that he really did that? That he really S.A. Dolores Huerta and the other people coming out as well, saying that he was S.A.ing them.
Right.
You know, so it's not just one. There's a couple other people saying it as well.
Right, sir.
But to some people, that's not enough. That's not enough for them, you know, because Chavez is a historical figure to them. But of course, like we already knew that Chavez was no good from the get-go.
Right.
Even before these allegations came out, we already knew that Chavez was not someone to be followed. We never looked at Chavez as someone that's like that helped the raza, that looked out for his people. And I know some people are going to say, how could you say that when he protested and fought for farmers' rights and created the farmers union? He created the union, you know, and helped them get better pay and rights. But what happened with Chavez though is when he fought for the farmers and fought for better pay, other people had to pay the price for that.
Right.
So they make it seem like everybody, you know, we fought and then we got these rights. That's not so much of the case, because other people had to suffer, other people had to get hurt in order for others to get rights. And those other people are the so-called illegal immigrants, people coming from the border. Those are the people that got hurt. Those are the people that got lied to. Those are the people that took advantage to. So how are we going to say that he's a historical figure and he's someone that we should give praise to when he shitted on people that were from the border, when he used and abused them? And that's what we're going to touch on as we go on through the show. But to us, Chavez was never someone that we looked up to. And there's a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Chicanos that feel the same way. There's a lot of Chicanos that'll be like, nah, he ain't. He's not a leader. And then, like, you know, there's some Chicanos that'll say, hey, you know what? My grandfather said that he was a piece of garbage. My father and my mother said that he was a piece of garbage. And these are people from the 70s, right, that were saying this about him. And the reason why people get confused about this is because they taught you about Chavez in school.
Right.
It's about Cesar Chavez in elementary, middle school, high school. They got statues of him. They even got a Cesar Chavez Day. You know? Now, I'm not going to take away from what happened to Dolores Huerta, you know? I wouldn't put it past him if he actually did that.
Right, sir.
You know? So, you know, she came out and said that she was SA'd by him. You know what? His reputation and the things that he's done, hey, you know what? I wouldn't put it past him if he actually did that.
Right, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because he already has a bad reputation. And I want to show some footage of what other people were saying about Chavez. Because not everybody's saying, oh, Chavez is, he's a leader, he helped us out. There's a lot of people that will say the opposite. There's a lot of people that will say, nah, he took advantage of us.
Right.
So so like I'm gonna pass it on to the next brother.
Okay. Oh, so like when I was gonna ask you that footage, by any chance you got it?
I'm looking for it. You know what? I cleaned up my phone, so I gotta dig through it.
No sweat.
I'm gonna find it though. I'm gonna find it.
So like, I don't want. Did you want me to play we played it on the last show, but I wouldn't mind playing it again just for to recap that last interview with Cesar Chavez where he's calling Mexicans, mojazos, WBs.
Yeah, come on. Let's get to it.
Come on, sir. Orale.
This question of the illegals I find very interesting. Would you say that it's at this particular moment as important as any of the other problems facing the union?
Oh yes, in the last 3 weeks last 2 weeks it has become an emergency for us. There's an awful lot of illegals coming in by the hundred, by the thousands. Our people are not only in some of the crews where there's now strike breaking. Some of those crews are 100% illegals, outright, openly, with no attempt to disguise it. And so it's so bad now that we estimate 60 to 70% of the farm workers in California, of the resident worker, of the citizen, is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with the consent of the Immigration Service, which is
at the minute, almost at the minute mark. I'm gonna play it back.
And if I could, real quick, just kind of piggyback on this real quick. So he's calling the Hispanics coming from the border illegally wetbacks, right? So some people are saying that this was a common word, a term that they used in the 70s against illegals. So it's kind of like people were saying, like, everybody said it. Everybody was calling people wetbacks during that time. That was back then, So like as if they're giving him the pass. They're giving him the pass. That was a word that everybody used, and it was okay for him to call them wetbacks. So, but I want to say that this cat is not using it like he's using this in a racist term. They're like the way he's using that word wetback is not just like because he's just calling them wetbacks. He's using that in a racist way. Chavez was racist against his own people. That's what it was. He was a Mexican that was no different from a Donald Trump supporter,
right?
Than Latinos for Trump,
right?
So if you fast forward to today, he'd be a Latinos for Trump. He'd be the one saying, you know what? These guys are coming in here and they're bringing all the taco trucks. And if we don't stop them right now, they're going to be taco trucks all over the corners. He's the one. He would have been the one saying, if you don't like it here, then go back.
Right.
Go back to Mexico. He'd be that cat saying, you know what? We got to secure the borders. That's who he was in the 70s.
Right.
And listen, there's a lot of brothers, a lot of Chicanos that were speaking up for our people. A lot of them.
Right.
Right. Corky Gonzalez, Reyes Lopez de Gerina,
right.
The Brown Berets. You don't hear these cats calling Hispanics from the border wetbacks.
Right.
They ain't saying, oh, these wetbacks are coming in here by the thousands and they're over here, taking our jobs. It was actually the opposite. These brothers right here were trying to unite everybody and saying that we all have a common enemy. And if you could, Malakma, can you play the video of Corky Gonzalez? I believe I sent that to you.
So like you sent it on Messenger, or you sent it
on a messenger on the Facebook Messenger. Hold up real quick. Let me see.
You sent it personally to me, or you sent it to the chat?
No, I think I sent that to you.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I got it right here.
So what I'm trying to show you, what I want to show is how Chavez is speaking about the raza coming from the border, and I want to show you Corky Gonzalez on how he spoke. Now, Chavez is trying to fight for the rights of Chicanos in the farm, in the fields, right? But at the same time, he's calling the brothers that are coming in illegally wetbacks. Now let's look at Corky Gonzalez.
Come on, I got it right here, sir.
If you could try to make it a little bigger, if not, it's cool. That's all right.
The Mexicano, the Chicano has been confused so often, has been used so often, and continues to be used because they use nationalism against us to get us to vote. One gringo puts on a zarape y todos los mexicanos dicen, ay, mira, parece chicano, parece mexicano y está comiendo tacos. And they vote for him. Everywhere across the country, there are amigos that have every gringo politician on the two-party system. And they can have those type of amigos. Those amigos are working for their own personal interests. Those amigos are working for their own personal job, for their own personal interests to liberate themselves financially, because they could never liberate themselves morally nor mentally in this society when they become part of the puppets and the stooges to the men who control this country and most of the world. They can never be free. You can have $25,000 in your pocket, and if you're a cagao, a vendido, a tío taco, a malinche, you're not free because you're still licking the white man's boots.
Boom. He said you still licking the white man's boots, and he's talking about Tío Tomás, a tío taco, right? And these are cats that he's talking about that side with our oppressor,
right?
You know, that side with America. And there's a lot of Chicanos that will side with America before their own people.
Right.
There's a lot of Chicanos that will say red, white, and blue, America first, and those illegals got to go back. That's what this cat is talking about right now. And those cats exist today. This is in the 70s when he's saying this. When he was saying this. Now you fast forward today. Now there's a lot of podcasters right now.
Right, a lot
in LA. We'll say the LA area, LA County, Southern California, that are saying, how are you going to say that about Chavez?
It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. They're allegations. The reason why they're defending Chavez is because they feel the same way about the so-called illegals, the brothers coming from the border. They feel the same exact way. A lot of these cats are Donald Trump supporters on the low. They just don't come out on the internet and say it. But these are the same cats that are saying, you should come here with papers. The people that are coming from the border illegally are ruining it for everybody. America first. And these are cats that speak perfect Spanish. These are cats that have tattoos all over their arms and bald-headed.
Right.
These are cats that are saying, I'm from the hood. Oh, I used to gangbang back in the day. And they try to glorify that lifestyle as well. But at the same time, these cats are Donald Trump supporters. They love America more than they love their own people.
Right.
And that's who Corky Gonzalez was talking about. These Tío Tomases, Tío Tacos. These cats will side with our enemy and come against our own people. And there's like I said, there's a lot of brothers a lot of Chicanos that are like that today. I'm saying Chicano for this topic, but a lot of Latinos. You say a lot of Latinos as well.
Right, sir.
But what I'm trying to show you is that this brother said Mexicano and Chicano.
Right.
He didn't say wetbacks. He ain't saying, oh, those wetbacks are coming over here and they're doing this. That's not what this brother is saying.
Right.
He looked at the Mexicans from the border and the Chicanos in LA as the same people.
Right.
There wasn't a separation. But not everybody thinks like that. There are Chicanos, brown skin, speak perfect Spanish, who look at the brothers coming in illegally as a whole different people.
Right.
They will say, I'm American, and those guys are illegal criminals. It's like, my bad. I ain't going to go. Go ahead. You got it.
No. So like, sir, real quick, I was going to say, I like the term he said. He said, Tío Tomás, Tío Tacos. What else did he say? He said, cagados. I think I'm going to start using that one. I don't want to like you.
Con. I was trying to get a clip of Reyes Lopez Tejerina. That's another brother. That's another brother from New Mexico. And what he was trying to do is he was trying to fight for the he studied the Constitution. He was saying that America violated that Constitution.
Right.
So therefore that the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo is invalid.
Right.
Right. And so what he was trying to do is he was trying to get the land back. Of course, he didn't get it back. Of course, that's not something that, that was possible. But he was trying to do it. He would say, man, you know what? They stole this land. They broke the treaties. California, Texas, New Mexico, Nevada belongs to us. And this land is ours. And we need to get it back. And he was trying to go by their own laws to show that they broke it. But going back to the point, he wasn't calling them wetbacks.
Right, sir.
Go ahead, Mlama.
No, so like the other one, because I kind of lost you there for a second. Yeah, like that term cagado, I'm gonna start using that one. But yeah, like I'm not like these cats are saying today that they was calling each other wetback back then. So are they trying to imply that Raza was calling each other wetback like the way when Judas say nigga? Are y'all trying to say that's a term? They were saying wetback like a term of endearment back then. Is that what y'all trying to tell me, man?
It was more like the way they use illegal immigrant is the way they were is what they use wetback. So rather than say illegal immigrant, they were saying wetbacks.
Concert.
So they were saying it wasn't as offensive back then.
It's man. Like, that is wild. I'm pretty sure it's always been offensive. I'm pretty sure it's always been the same.
Right.
But so like, did you want me to play any other clips?
Yeah, I did. I wanted you know what? It's on Mexico. Let me go on I speak of Mexico.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom.
But I'm seeing Corky Gonzalez and what he was talking about, sir. And yeah, not once did he ever call him that. Not once did he ever say anything about undocumented Mexicans coming in over here and taking the right. And I brought this up in the last show. I don't know if you've seen the clips, but I'm wondering, right? I'm wondering if César Chávez was, as I said, like, of course, I looked it up. It says he wasn't COINTELPRO, but I wonder if he really was, if they got him, if they got to him and were paying him off and getting him to say that all of a sudden,
You know what? If they did that to him, if it was COINTELPRO, then it'd be like, okay, well, they got him. But you know what? I don't even think it was COINTELPRO. I think it was just this cat was just, that's how he felt. Honestly, I just really think he just felt like that. And there's a lot of Mexicans that feel like that.
And there's
a lot of Mexicans that are not COINTELPRO or being, paid off by the government. These are cats that really just feel like that. Really just feel like, oh, you know what? These illegals are coming over here and they're taking all the jobs. That's just how he really felt. At least if it was COINTELPRO, we could have said that. Like, damn, they got him. They paid him off. He took the bag. Sell out. But doesn't even look like we can even say that. This is just a cat that
like I said,
hatred. Go ahead, coming up.
So like I said, if I could, I wanted to say, because you're right about that there is Hispanics that do feel like that. They don't have to get bought off. Like, spiritually, they do, align themselves with America. And like, going back to what you were saying, how Hispanics are for America first, like, that's a slogan that the KKK were pushing around. Like they started saying America first. Right. That was a code for exclusion. you know, and keeping power in the hands of a specific race.
Hey,
And
tell me
then
that. Tell me that real
you
quick.
got Donald Trump bringing, yeah, sir.
It's like your audio sounds kind of bad.
It's a lot. Okay, no. Sir. Yeah, it's my phone there.
But go ahead.
How
Go try
about
just
now?
finish it
Salaki.
up. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, sir. Now I was just saying that, and now you got Donald Trump that's brought that phrase back into the mainstream politics that ties immigration, you know, crackdowns and nationalism, you know, and also, you know, with the border control, right? And like for Hispanics to stand and align themselves with the ideology, like that's hypocrisy, you know, that they're standing behind a slogan that historically wasn't built with us in mind. You know, that's a phrase that's been used to exclude, you know, people who look like us, you know, that speak like us and that come from where we come from. And now they defend it like it protects them. Like that's wild. And what they really should take a minute and say, wait, am I really aligned with something that stands for me? And a lot of Hispanics don't think about that, you know, and again, like his history from him, his father, and I think his mother worked in the field, and he worked in the fields, and then he went to the military. And I think in the military, where and you know you believe that you're better than another, you know, Hispanic that's just like you, trying to come up, trying to work hard, and now you think you're better, and now it's America first, you know. So you know, just going that there is Hispanics that just think like, and that's true. They don't have to get bought out by the oppressor, you know, because it says a gift destroy the heart. They could give them anything. They could give them, you know, Donald Trump gave blacks and Hispanics a, you know, a $2,000 check. What was it, his last presidency? And everybody started to love him so much that they thought that he was gonna make the economy better this time of year, you know, this time around. So, you know, all you have to give is, you know, black and Hispanic is just a little crumb, and they'll fall for anything. But I yield, sir.
No, damn right. That's absolutely true. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta be bought out. They just give us some crumbs, and we're okay with that.
Right. Oh God. I mean, Salaki, that I just worried because I know he was constantly, like, I looked up the information, right, and he was constantly targeted by the FBI. But it's crazy. I will say this, sir. Like, one thing that I brought out in the last episode is the hypocrisy of Cesar Chavez, because he faced that discrimination. He was called a wetback. His people came here illegally, undocumented, right, for the audience. And then he went and turned it around and projected on his people. You understand? So that shows you, you know, the issue with our people and the hypocrisy, and why, you know, not anyone can just be a leader for their people. And we should definitely be vetting these people, you know, instead of like I said in the last episode, I would not be surprised if the allegations came true. But for y'all out there, you know, to be quick to shame Dolores Huerta, to shame the victims, you understand? I understand you know that you know it's innocent until proven guilty. I understand that there's no evidence, but what y'all should not be doing is publicly shaming the victims of the allegations, because now what you're doing is you're really protecting the predator. You understand? You're really defending and protecting a possible predator. How y'all gonna feel when you find out they were telling the truth? You understand? You don't have to believe the victims right away, but you shouldn't be publicly shaming them either, which is what a lot of these podcasters are doing, sir. I don't know if you saw the things they were saying about Dolores Huerta. You understand? They were talking about how she got with, you know, because she was with Cesar Chavez's brother and had kids with another man, you know, that supposedly she was, you know, doing it for money. Same thing with the victims that were 13 and 12 years old at the time. And these people are just coming out and saying all these things. Like, Y'all the reason why, you know, and I've seen people say this, and it's true. Y'all are also the reason why people don't want to come forward right away. Because they don't want the shame. They don't want to get beaten down. You know, they're afraid to come forward. You understand? Now, of course, I'll say this, right? This is why it's highly important that if someone is getting abused or is talking about getting, you know, bringing out allegations, it should be taken serious. It should be taken serious and investigated, right? And for the victims, the moment it happens, man, I understand the fear. I understand y'all, but y'all have to say something immediately, man. You have to come out immediately the moment it happens. The hell with the shame. The hell with everyone trying to, you know, not believe you. If it's happening, you come out and say something, man, so that we can bring these people to justice, man, so that justice can be done. You know? You understand? Because for too long have these things happened. It's not just César Chávez. Plenty of actors and artists have been doing these things and have been brought out. You know, your pastors in the churches and the Catholic, how many times a pastor has done this and the congregation offends the pastor? How many times they don't believe the victim, right? How many times, you know, all the victims of Eddie Long, man, I could pull up a story of a Latino pastor abusing children and they didn't believe the children. And for how many years he was doing it and finally gets exposed, man. That show To Catch a Predator, you're seeing Christian pastors on there, Catholic priests on there. The Catholic Church has such a big, I forgot, so we looked it up, right? About how many cases of assault go on in the Catholic Church. You understand? And no one believes the victims at first. Because no one believes the victims and shame them for coming out. They're afraid to speak up. This happens, and this is why it's such a high number. You understand? But that's the only thing I would say.
You charge your phone?
Yeah, it's charged, but
This is the
the
only
phone
thing
stand right here.
I would say, sir. Salaki, I don't want you to walk him. This is the only thing I would say is just, you know what? The hell with, don't be afraid to stand up and speak out, man. Speak out, and if people shame you, just know that there are going to be people that shame you, but there also are going to be people that believe you. And if you're telling the truth, God sees it, and justice will be served, man.
You know what? I was going to tell you too, Malama, real quick. So they're saying, oh, you guys spoke too soon. You don't even know if it's true or not. Right? That's what they said. But you know what? We could talk about all day because like we were saying before, there's a lot of other things he's already done.
Right.
You know? There's a lot of dirt that he has on him already.
Right.
That we could talk about.
Right.
And we need to talk about it because cats like this and other people think that he's someone to be praised, you know, glorified, someone to be looked up to, leadership. They don't know about the shit that he was doing behind closed doors. They don't know about the wet line when he went to the border and was beating the shit out of Hispanics at the border.
Right.
You know. So this is things that we got to talk about. But I think they spoke too soon. I think they were quick to be like, oh, you know, you can't say that about Chavez. You can't say that about Chavez. You know, how do you know it's true?
Right.
Y'all spoke too soon.
Right.
Because let's say this, hypothetically speaking, let's say it's not true. Let's say they come to find out that this didn't happen. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, right? Let's say it doesn't happen. He still has a lot of things that he did, a lot of dirt that he did, a lot of racist shit he was doing to our people. So that even if it's not true, he's still a piece of garbage, no matter what. You know, because of the things that he's already done. You know, but the point is that they spoke too soon. A lot of these podcasters that went defending Chavez, y'all spoke way too soon. You know, you should have been the one to shut the hell up. You shouldn't have said anything.
Right.
Because like I said, we got videos where we can dig up some dirt on this guy and show you what he was doing.
Right.
There's people, there's witnesses, there's articles that you can bring out to show you what he was doing. It's like we got a brother on here. Shalom.
We got Officer 5,000 out of Madabar.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom, sir. You have with the. And Salak, we also got with us, man, newly raised Officer 5000, Oscar War, man. Salah, you sure wanted to congratulate you, on your rank raise,
Damn right, damn
Salah,
right.
man. And Officer Commandant, just shout you out too, Kanad, both you brothers, man, on your rank raises. Salah, hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this officially, man. Where's that hand clap? Hand clap. Applause. There we go.
All right.
But Salah, sir, did you want to play this clip?
Now I want to say, big up to Oscar Ward, Kamada. Definitely, this is real leadership right here. You know what I'm saying? Real brothers that really look out for our people, take care of our people, speak up on what's going on, and then speak against the hypocrisy of cats like César Chávez. We're not a respecter of persons. We're not going to look at Chávez as, oh man, he's a historical figure, so we can't say nothing bad about him. He's right, so we can't speak about him. F all that. These brothers right here are going to go right into it and speak on the dirt that he's done.
Damn
What I'm saying? Because that's what we do. So, but big up to Oscar War, Officer Commandant, newly raised 5,000. You know what I'm saying? Right. These brothers earned that rank. You know what I'm saying? And if you Hispanic, Latino, man, these are brothers right here that you need to follow. Right here, we show brotherhood, leadership. You know what I'm saying? Right here, we're really trying to get you right. It's like, go ahead, Malama.
No, Select. Did you want to play this clip? Or Select? Go ahead, Kana.
If I could, I just want to touch on what our brothers are saying, that the people, maybe they spoke too soon, and the thing is that they told that Chavez is a super. I mean, he's a hero, but then everything this world.
Hey, Salaki, I don't know if it's just me, but
Salaki, coming down your sound. Yeah, you're going in and out.
Yeah, God, somebody sounded a little choppy.
Oh, the hydration thing? Damn.
So like, sir, meantime, did you want me to play the clip?
Oh, yeah, go play the clip.
Okay.
How much water I got?
We were taught that César Chávez was a hero, but what's not talked about enough is his cruelty against his own people coming from the border. Check this out.
Aclarando que muchos indocumentados participaron con nosotros como huelguistas también. Caminaron hasta Sacramento durante la marcha que habíamos hecho. Y cuando se firman los contratos en junio de 1970, lo primero que hizo Chávez poner en la ventanilla arriba, en la ventanilla donde entregaban las tarjetas de despacho para ir a trabajar. En la ventanilla arriba, pues, con letras grandes. Todo trabajador que no cuente con papeles de residencia legal no puede ser miembro del sindicato.
Aunque habían participado en la huelga.
Los que habían caminado inclusive en Sacramento quedaron afuera.
We were
real quick. So what happened right here? He's talking about the march they did from Delano,
right,
all the way to Sacramento. And so what Chavez did, he was doing a strike. I believe it was a strike, right?
Okay.
So, and they're doing this march from Delano to Sacramento. What Chavez did is he allowed illegals, so-called illegals, the people that he was against, the people that he was calling wetbacks, he allowed them to march with him to to Sacramento, right? To get these rights. He's trying to get these rights. So when they're granted these rights, these brothers get their what do you call it, their raise or equal pay, the things that they're asking for. And then he lets out those illegal immigrants out. They never got a job. They never got help. So what he did, he took advantage of them and used them. When they got what they wanted, that was it. He let them out the door. He never helped them. He only used them for his own advantage.
Right.
We can send you this clip again. Y'all want to see it on your own time? I know some brothers don't speak Spanish, but it's written in English so you can read it, so you can see what this brother's talking about.
Sir.
So that oh, go ahead, Malama, you got it.
No. So I'm gonna play the next clip after you're done with it.
So at the same time, when he's calling these brothers wetbacks, and he's talking about, they're coming in by the thousands, unbelievable. That's what he said, right? Unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
No, sir, I'm gonna put that clip back on there for you, so to hear him say it.
All right.
The citizen is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with the consent of the Immigration Service, which is part of the Department of Justice. How else could they come? We, for instance, know that if you go to Coachella, you go to around the El Paso area, the secondary immigration checkpoints have been unmanned now for at least 3-4 weeks. They're closed. They're at night. They're dark. There aren't any patrolmen there. It's a gimmick. We think that it's a prelude at the beginning to a big drive on the part of the administration and the Mexican government to bring the Bracero program again. It's a vicious attack on the local worker, and it's just one of those things that agribusiness thinks they can get away with it. And our job is to inform the whole country what's happening, together with a boycott, and solve it that way. And so the workers themselves, even though a lot of them are Mexican descendancy themselves, are very uptight and very, very
listen to what he says right
worried
here.
And very mad about the illegals coming to break their strikes, and it takes away their jobs, their livelihood, and so forth.
Does that put you in an uncomfortable position to be?
Listen to what he says right here, sir.
To be against the illegal immigrants because they are from Mexico. In other words, part of your program has been an appeal to equal treatment of people of Mexican origin. Right?
Oh yeah, sure, but we're speaking of the legal ones. We don't want Mexico to export its poverty to us, and then we.
Did you hear that?
Right, we don't want Mexico to exploit its poverty to us.
Like what a cagado, man. Cagado's a perfect term for him. Salakia.
God, no, for sure. Come.
Like if I could, sir, this man says I'm trying to be careful with the language, right? But this sellout, this 304, that's exactly what he was, sir. He was a 304, and what he was now you're right. I don't think it was you're right. He's not COINTELPRO. What he was doing is begging for money. He was the one begging for the money, begging for the handouts from America. He wanted, and to hear him say that, it's sad because that's what they say today. That's what a lot of Latinos for Trump say today. That's where that cat probably got he didn't want a taco truck on every street corner coming from,
Right.
And then my question is this to all y'all. I asked it last episode, but I'm gonna ask it again to all y'all Latinos for Trump, all you Mexican Americans out there, America first. When you want to complain about Mexico sending its poverty over here, was Mexico sending its poverty over here when your parents came over here? When your parents and your family came over here, they were sending their poverty over here? Salakia.
No, right. Another thing, too, about Chavez was that, so he's talking about equal rights, right? Helping out the locals, the local farm workers. You know that there was other people, and I want to say brothers from Texas, that were reaching out for help.
Right.
But he didn't want to help them out.
Imagine that.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to help out anybody but the people in his area. So this cat wasn't really out there trying to help out Raza. He was trying to help out himself. He was out there to get his own. You know what I'm saying? So once again, this is not someone that's he's not honorable.
Right.
He's not an honorable Mexican leader. This is someone that helped his own, took advantage of people, and refused to help out others. And now there's allegations of him SAing women. hey, you know what? If that doesn't convince you, then you know what? I don't know what will. You get what I'm saying? To a lot of Chicanos, a lot of Mexicans, to them that's enough. That's not enough. You know, and that makes me think, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What are you doing behind closed doors?
Right.
There's obviously something that you're doing, which is behind closed doors, which is why you're so defensive about Chavez. You know, but like I said, man, to us, he ain't never been nobody to us, man. This is someone that's just, like I said, just some sellout. That's all he was. He was just a sellout. A cagado.
Cagado, man, that's Cagado's a perfect one, not a one.
Tío Tomás, you know, and of course, going back to this, that this cat right here was America first, right? And there's a lot of Mexicans that feel like that today. A lot of Mexicans that are pro-America, red, white, and blue. You know, keep the illegals, stop the illegals from coming over here, close the borders. A lot of these cats are pro-ICE.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these cats are pro-ICE. You want to play a video? Play the video. What?
Concert. Let me play this one.
On a national TV interview, right? And he's throwing the word around, wet back here and wet back there and other stuff, right? This was how long ago? Decades ago, right? The problem is you want to look at that through a 2026 cancel culture lens. That's the problem. You want to look at him saying, oh, wetbacks or whatever, through a 2026 cancel culture lens instead of thinking, oh, wait a second. He said that a long time ago. And when he said it at that time, okay, different time, right? Different time. When he said it at that time, no uproar at that time. Again, does it make it right or wrong? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying you're looking at it through the wrong lens. So he said wetback. So because he said that a long time ago that he wasn't for the people, what speaks louder, actions or words? His actions were advancing the people forward. His actions were getting equality of pay to the people. They would work 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week. Their bi-weekly pay stubs were like 100 hours. And they would get no overtime. Flat rate. It didn't matter how many hours they worked. It was unequal. And you got a man like César Chávez that came along and pushed the raza forward. His part of La Cultura is just huge.
Salakia, yeah, I just...
So when he says that he pushed the raza forward, that's not true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When he says he pushed the raza forward, what he really did, he just pushed his own group forward.
Right.
So, okay, let's say this. Let me say this the right way. He pushed the raza forward is what he's saying.
Right.
But at the same time, so, okay, he doesn't look at the illegals as raza. Because those are the ones that he took advantage of. So he in order for them to get an equal pay and get rights, he had to use those. He had to use them, abuse them, and then get them out the way for others to get equal rights. So he's talking about your actions and your words. We're looking at Julio's. We're looking at Cesar Chavez's actions and his words. What he said, which are the wetbacks, they're coming in by the thousands, unbelievable. And then what he did to them as well. And what he did, and like I said, there's one brother saying that he used illegals when they marched from Delano down to Sacramento.
Right.
They used them, got what he wanted, and then got rid of them. You know what I mean? And of course, you can look up the New York Times. They wrote an article.
Right. I have
about this situation. Oh
right.
Man, if you got the article, let's see the
article. I don't have the New York Times. I have the other one where the victims are talking and saying what he did, right?
Oh, okay. Okay, so just real quick. So what I'm talking about is the wet line.
Oh, the wet line. Okay, come. Let me see if
we haven't even touched on the wet line. Salakia, my bad. So just real quick. So this cat is obviously defending Chavez. And he's talking about cancel culture. Man, we done been canceled that cat out a long time ago. This is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing new. There's a lot of cats that already canceled out Chavez. The ones that were educated and knew what he did already done got him out the way. You know, this is nothing new. The only thing is that Dolores Huerta came out and said what she said, and now it's going viral again. But go ahead, I'm gonna pass it to the next brother.
So like, if I could, I just want to say real quick, right? He said that he said, because he said wetback's a different time, a different era. What was different back then than today? You understand? How is it any different today than back then? That would be my question to him. And then we're not looking at just the words. We're looking at his actions, like Abdullah just brought out. You understand? He just brought out how they used undocumented raza. Just brought out, like, you know, how he doesn't see raza. He doesn't believe in equality for raza, because he would be, you know, counting in the undocumented raza as his people también. You understand? He put a distinction between the legals and illegals, you know, and then complain about them sending their poverty over here, man. You understand that don't sound like someone who believes in equality. That don't sound like someone who wants to move the raza forward. Because for all y'all saying that, your parents were the ones coming over here, you know, undocumented and escaping poverty in Mexico. So were they bringing, like I said earlier, so were y'all bringing the poverty too? And now, because now you get recognized and you get the documentation, now it's turn your back on your people. Now it's forget your people. You understand? So we're going by the actions. We're not just focusing on him just saying wetbacks, you know, and that's it.
And real quick, Malakman. So he fought for the rights, right? He's talking about they were working how many 80 hours a week?
90 plus hours a week, 100 hours a week.
Brother,
yeah.
They are still working that many hours. To this day, they're still working that many hours. You know how much they get paid? They ain't getting paid no $20 an hour. I don't even think they're getting 16. Right. I think they're still at $9 an hour on that field. You want to look that up? Let me look that up real quick. But you know what I'm saying? And it's still the same thing. They might catch a 10-minute break if that.
Right.
He fought so they can get a 10-minute break. That's what he fought for.
A 10-minute break. God damn.
But they ain't getting paid $21 an hour like today's time.
Right.
Remember, he said that we're looking at it from the 2026 lens. So let's fast forward to today. They ain't getting paid in our time. I mean, it's like they ain't getting paid, like I said, $21 an hour, $20 an hour. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to look up how much they get paid.
Also, if I could, sir, real quick. Also, like, you got to look at César Chávez. He's somebody who is honored by the oppressor. And you can kind of just say anybody that's honored by the oppressor has some is wicked.
Right.
You understand? They're traitors if they're being honored by the U.S.
Right.
You understand? And I highly doubt that César Chávez was doing this for the betterment for the people. Seeing how easily he can call his own people illegals and, you know, not his people and wetbacks so casually, the same way the white man calls the black man. I don't know if I can say the whole the N-word. Yeah, I don't know if I can say it, so I just won't say it on YouTube. You know, that's how the white man talks. He says it so casually. You understand? And that's how César Chávez says wetback so casually, like a slave master, like an oppressor. Because he thought he was American and he looked down on his own. And like you said, Malakma, he was doing it for crumbs. He was turning his back on his own for crumbs. He wasn't allowing for his people who were coming over here to get a job and to survive.
Right.
Which is all they were trying to do. You understand? And yeah, man, like I highly doubt that he was doing it for the betterment. I'm pretty sure he was doing it for selfish reasons.
Yeah,
Hey,
oh, so like, hold on, so like, go ahead, Adawan.
So if you work in the field, you can make up to $23 an hour to 26 per hour. So you try to work them fields, man. That's they're making some money right there.
Hey,
But I understand why though.
How many hours though a day?
That I don't know. But right now they done got rid of all the farm workers.
Right.
They done ICE done took a lot of the workers. So right now they're trying to get people to go back to the fields. So I would imagine that's why they're getting paid $23 an hour if that's true.
That's not even good enough because you're working your whole body nonstop,
right,
for hours. They're not working on 8 hours. I
Right.
doubt that. And if they are, then they're doing some hard labor in the sun all 24/7.
Who we got right here? Oh, coming.
We got comment down. So like you, sir, we do have a question from Michael Love.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Michael Love?
He says, Salakia, sirs, will this be what it says in Revelation 12:16? How the earth will help the woman because this info would be lost and no one would know how Chavez actually thought?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. When he says that how the earth helped the woman, he's talking about like with archaeology,
Okay.
things that archaeology. What else? What else were we talking about?
History.
Things that, things that we dug up to show proof that we're the Israelites.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is something different because this is not something that's unknown. This is something that's already been known. This is something that a lot of people know that Chavez was a piece of garbage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's people alive that were with him. That were with him, that saw what he did, saw how he treated illegals, and it's just something that's known. It's known amongst Chicanos, mainly people in LA. Of course, other states as well, but mainly out here on how he really was. Oh, sorry, not just LA, Northern California as well.
Right.
So, but like I said, people don't really a lot of people don't know how he is because you were taught that Chavez was someone that was positive, and you were taught this in school. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were taught you were taught about Cesar Chavez in elementary school, middle school, high school. They got a Cesar Chavez Day. They put him on probably on PBC and on cable, and make it seem like he was
PBS.
PBS. Oh, I said PBC.
That's like
I don't even watch TV like that, but you get the point. PBS, and they made him look like he was a Mexican that fought for the rights, and and he deserves praise and glory for what he did. But for us, we know how he was, and like there's a lot of other people that will say the same thing that me, Malak, Commandant, Oscar are saying, who are not in the truth.
Right.
These are cats in the world that will agree with us and say the same thing.
So like I said, I'm gonna show another clip of another one saying the opposite, right, of what we say and pushing nonsense, right? Let's see if I got it right here. So that's one. Here's the other one. Where is he? Did he take down his thing? Oh, look, here's a video. Look at this right here. I'll play this, like, because you just said that, sir. Just look at this.
Roxanne Elias talked with an advocate who worked alongside César Chávez in Sacramento and Stockton. Roxanne, what have you learned?
Chris and Laura, Luis Magaña says there's shock in the Latino community following these allegations. Some are now even distancing themselves from Chavez. Magaña also believes those closest to him at the time could have spoken up, and they didn't.
En Sacramento, las marchas.
Luis Magaña shows ABC 10 posters of back in the day when he first met César Chávez in 1974 when he was about 18 years old. The longtime farm worker advocate and organizer says it was during a tomato worker strike that extended to Sacramento County and Yolo.
César Chávez,
Luis says César Chávez was always surrounded by people. That would include farm workers who would take turns protecting him, and he would be surrounded by a group of people he trusted. He was never alone, and everyone knew that. He believes this is why there's so many people who had to have known about the sexual accusations being made against the union leader in the New York Times investigation. Magaña also says he later worked with Chavez on a strike in 1985 against a local grocery store. And back in the 90s, when he was part of the California Rural Legal Assistance Organization, there were already conversations among those who left that were surfacing about the abuse.
Esta historia
Damn, I don't want you to hear that.
It's like, can you play one more time? I was reading about the wet line. If you can play one more time.
Nah, no sweat. I'm gonna play that last part right there. Listen to this.
About the sexual accusations being made against Luis says César Chávez was always surrounded by people. That would include farm workers who would take turns protecting him, and he would be surrounded by a group of people he trusted. He was never alone, and everyone knew that. He believes this is why there's so many people who had to have known about the sexual accusations being made against the union leader in the New York Times investigation. Magaña also says he later worked with Chavez on a strike in 1985 against a local grocery store. And back in the 90s, when he was part of the California Rural Legal Assistance Organization, there were already conversations among those who left that were surfacing about the abuse.
Esta historia se empezaban a hablar.
So there were already conversations back then about the abuse going on, according to him, you know, according to his brother. So like, I'm gonna continue playing.
Luis says they would start to talk, but people would terrorize them. They would see them as if it were taboo to speak about the errors. And so that's why we're all surprised now, because there was a seal to quiet all the errors, and now people are paying for it. Magaña also questions why Dolores Huerta never spoke up until now. In a statement released by Huerta, she said in part, "I am nearly 96 years old and for the last 60 years have kept a secret because I believe that exposing the truth would hurt the farm worker movement I have spent my entire life fighting for." Magaña says, let's not forget that fight was for the workers and the most vulnerable community. And he says now with this out in the open, the victims can rest better.
En cada celebración,
Luis says, in every celebration, in every event, it's been like torture for them. And those are now the people who can rest easier, although they were already damaged, like any person who is damaged by any physical abuse. He also has a message for those victims or people who may have known about the abuse.
Oportunidad mejor de hablarlo ahorita.
Luis says, don't be silent because the movement showed us to raise your voice to the most powerful, that was the abuser of the worker. And to the victims that haven't spoken out, this is the moment too to speak. It's for the good of the current workers, for the good of the community, and for the betterment of themselves. Magaña also hopes people don't lose sight of the movement, which was about giving a voice to those who needed one. But he says now more than ever, it's important to keep advocating for farm workers and not to tie one name to all the unions out there that continue to fight for them. Chris, Laura.
Roxanne, thank you.
So, I mean,
there are new revelations.
Man.
Like, so this is not new. It's been known.
Right.
You understand? Like, for all y'all out there saying like all of a sudden now it's coming out. Yeah, it might be coming out now publicly, but what's being shown also is that people knew about this, and that within their own. I brought out the news story in the last episode how the UFW got complaints about Chavez, and the UFW did nothing.
And they didn't want to say nothing because they didn't want to shut down the movement. You know, the United Farm Worker Union. So they thought that it'll stain it. So that's why they weren't speaking up.
Right. Not just that. You heard the brother say that they were terrorizing people that were coming forward. They were, making them taboo, shaming them back then. Just like they're doing right now. They were doing that to them back then. People who were accusing him of that. To keep it hush. To keep it quiet. I mean, that's the thing, right? Y'all think that all of a sudden it's a conspiracy to bring down Chavez, but y'all have no idea who the Lord is or how the Lord works. This is coming out now because God brought it out. God brought out what was going on in the darkness. He brought it to the light. And that's what the Bible says. You understand? So that y'all can claim it, whatever it is. I got your article. I don't want.
Come on. Absolutely. It's coming to light. Whatever you do in the dark will come to light. Even if you don't think it's gonna come to even if you think you're gonna do something in the dark, right?
Right.
You can pass away, and then sooner or later we're all gonna find out what you did. Just like what happened with Chavez. He's gone. He's buried now. He died in 93.
Right.
And it's coming to light what he was doing in the dark. It's a horrible thing, man.
Come on.
If I could too, like, it's heavy, because Christ said if they hated you, just know they hated me first.
Right.
So you're not, Cesar Chavez wasn't nobody who followed Christ. Once again, he was doing this supposedly for the betterment of farm workers, which I think is BS, because he's over here sexually assaulting underage girls, right? Are those the allegations?
Come on.
Underage girls. You understand? So he's not somebody you want to follow. He's not somebody you want to support. The fact that he was calling our brothers and sisters illegals and wetbacks so casually just shows that he's not honorable, man. He's not an honorable person.
Right.
You know who's honorable? Men who are hated for righteousness, because that's what Christ was, and that's Commander Jenny and Hannah and the brothers in the truth.
Right. So, and Salakia, if I could, here's the next clip of the next one, right? Pushing the next one, pushing this nonsense, man. And this goes back to what that brother was bringing out.
Same people screaming about Chavez and all the stuff he allegedly did, and want to just take away everything from this guy because he said the word wetback back in the days. Wetback was something, unfortunately, a lot of people use. So all of a sudden, you want to use today's morals and value standards back in the past. But again, these are the same people that will sit there and wear the Tupac shirt and be all Tupac out the game, homie. Make every excuse in the book for Tupac. But Chavez has allegations from fucking 60 years ago. Miss me with that, homie. If you're going to get Chavez and try to cancel him, cancel Tupac too. Let's see what you guys do. All right, so...
What the fuck was that, bro?
Salakia. Another cagado. That's what the fuck
Tupac
that was.
Was gay. Cesar Chavez was gay. I call him gay because he was a sexual predator.
Right.
And he said, oh, back in the day, people use the word wetbacks. Anybody using the word wetback back in those days, fuck them. Because guess what? There was brothers back then who was not standing with that. There was brothers back then who would be against saying wetback and illegals. So this cat right here, he's a sellout himself. He's a clown.
Yeah, he's a straight up clown.
He loves the oppressor. You
He's
understand?
a cagado.
And he hates black people. He's jealous of black people.
Right.
Like a lot of our brothers are, because of envy and hate, and they got into it. Maybe his brother was a Sudanio, I don't know. But listen, he's just like Cesar Chavez. He's a sexual demon himself, man. I wouldn't doubt myself if he's doing some nasty stuff behind closed doors.
If I could, right, I'll say this, right. The issue with American Cholo Gil, right? He's a hypocrite, and I'm gonna tell you why he's a hypocrite. Because now all of a sudden, or Salakia, he's definitely a respecter of persons saying this and reacting like this to the allegations, right? Because not too long ago, right, there was issues going on with other rappers and podcasters, right, where they were getting accused of of sexual or Salakia of abuse and things like that, right? And he was quick to want to cancel them. He was quick to call them out. He wasn't pushing this whole innocent until proven guilty on them, right? He was quick for calling them out, calling them predators, calling them chomos. And he should do that, right? if someone's like caught doing that, right? But at the same time, just because it's Cesar Chavez, now all of a sudden you can't do that. Now all of a sudden it's a conspiracy. Now all of a sudden it's okay to use the term wetback back then and say it's different times back then.
Right.
You know what that sounds a lot like when they say it's different times back then. There's people that will say messing with underage women was okay back then because it was different times back then.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Especially Christians. And he's another Christian. You understand that pushes this, man. But to openly say that it's a conspiracy to want to make an excuse for Cesar Chavez, but you have no issue for believing allegations within someone else, shows that you're a respecter of persons, man. And you represent the problem with the community. You and Chicano too, both of y'all represent the issue with the Latino community, because it's someone in high position, and you're looking at all the quote unquote good they did. Now you can't believe that they actually did the crime. Now you won't believe the victims. Now you'll go shame the victims, which is what that brother said in the news article I just played beforehand. You understand? So that's just this right here represents the problem with our community, man. Him and the other cat, and any other podcaster, any other person that will go and try to shame the victims and say they're lying. You're the reason why pastors get away with the crime in church. You're the reason why Epstein's Island happens and they don't get or should I? Maybe I'm that's a whole different thing. But you understand that's the same attitude the Trumpers have for Trump with Epstein, where they're defending him back and forth when his name is on that list. You understand? So you're no different, man. Listen to the right. You're all for hearing the victims, man. When I'll say this, when it was SPM, it was all about listening to the victims and considering them. Now all of a sudden that is Cesar Chavez, now it's not.
Right. Damn.
You understand? He was very outspoken on that. A bunch of podcasters were very outspoken on that, and they should have been. I'm not defending that or excusing him, but I'm showing the hypocrisy that just because it's Cesar Chavez, now all of a sudden he can't be capable of doing that. Now all of a sudden it's a conspiracy. And then here's a bigger thing. That's what we have to be proud of to represent us. Y'all want to fight for a predator to represent us. Like that shows the sad state we're in, sir. Salaki. That shows the sad state that we're in the toll that this oppressor has done to us, that we're so desperate to have representation in this country that we'll fight to have a predator represent us, man. Like what's wrong with y'all, man? Salakia.
And look, for Chicanos, whenever they hear about someone being a sex offender, a chomo, it's like, oh no, we gotta cut him off, as they should.
Right.
It should be like that.
Right.
But when it comes to someone with a high status, Chavez, like no, we can't do that.
Yeah, right.
We gotta hold back right here. That can't be true. These are allegations.
Right.
But whenever you hear allegations about somebody, it's quick to cut them off. But this shows that they really don't believe in what they teach and how they feel. Because with Chavez, even though there's other people saying that he was like that were with him.
Right.
Dolores Huerta, the brother that you just showed. I'm sure there's others too that are saying the same thing. He says, "Oh, you missed me with that."
Missed me with that, right?
60 years ago when he was saying that. I want to know how you feel about Trump. He's a sex offender, and then you voted for him. Did he? He voted for Donald Trump.
I know he voted for Donald Trump. We know he voted for Trump.
He was a big Donald Trump supporter.
Right. So, like, if I could, go ahead, sir.
Pedophile, but I would not be surprised because a lot of people who follow Trump are into that kind of stuff.
But this cat was America first. Keep the illegals out. Same thing like Chavez, right? And he was even called. I remember you saying Black Mike, that he was calling the cops on people.
Oh, he was accused. Yeah, right, of calling the cops.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Cops on people, right? They
was calling the cops on tigers, on kids that were tagging. But anyways, that kind of go beyond the point. But he like, did you feel like that about Donald Trump? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or did you find out that he was a sex offender and then you said, "No, I gotta let that go"? Did you even speak about it? Like, did you even talk about it, about Donald Trump being a sex offender and being on the Epstein files? But these cats dropped the ball when it came to Chavez. When it came to Chavez, they didn't hold their ground when it came to Chavez. They didn't, uphold that whole thing of, he's a chomo, we gotta let him go.
Right.
When it came to Chavez, they didn't do their part.
Right.
This cat, the other cat you just showed, but the reason why they're like that is because they believe, they think the same way he thinks. That's why they're defending him. It's not by him being a historical Chicano figure. It's about the whole thing of illegals. They think like that.
So like
both of these cats think like that. They both think that illegals should not be coming here illegally, and that they should be deported. And I'm sure they feel the same way about ICE agents. I'm pretty sure they're in that same boat.
I don't want to just say real quick. I remember watching an episode where this cat was talking about, he was talking about illegal immigration, right? And I believe I don't know if it was Title 42 or whatever, but about letting when there were mass groups of migrants coming to the border, right? And his exact words, right, was more of, we can't let them all in. America can't handle all of them coming in, right? Yeah, my family came over here like that, but you know what? They can't come in. You understand? Like it's pretty hypocritical to say that, man. He is a hypocrite. You understand? Because knowing how your family came, knowing what your people went through, and then now now that because you got some status here in America, just because now you got legal documentation, now all of a sudden you gotta shit on the undocumented people coming over here. You understand?
You got it. You know what's crazy too, man? Like, who are you? You sound that's a slave right there. Like, oh, America can't allow that. America can't take this. Who are you speaking?
Right.
America don't give a damn about you, and that's how César Chávez was. Like, that's what I get off of César Chávez from watching those videos of him. He's someone who believes he was white. He wanted to be American. He wanted to be accepted.
It's in his concert. It's in his name.
So he had to hate his own, hate black people. I mean, I'm pretty sure he hated white people. Black people. Maybe he did it. I don't know, but I believe I wouldn't be surprised if he hated black people. And this cat right here, he said there's nothing wrong with him calling people beaners and wetbacks because it was
that's wild.
This brother voted for Trump. He said Puerto Rico, talked bad about Puerto Rico, talks bad about Latinos and black people. So he follows that. He supports that. He doesn't have a problem with that.
Right.
They have that slave mindset, like, okay, I'm American.
So like, sir.
Are you Hispanic? I'll rock with you. Oh, but you coming against America, I can't rock with you.
Right.
That's that slave mentality. So like,
no, so I was gonna tell you, sir, to that he also said, right, because now he's excusing César Chávez saying wetback and all that. This the same cat that went on No Jumper and called out Tyga for the I Caramba video.
Yeah,
y'all remember? So it shows the hypocrisy. Like, it's like you had no issue talking about racism and our people being mistreated when it was Tyga, when it was when it's rappers and stuff and whatnot. But all of a sudden now, when it's César Chávez, now it's a problem because he's the representation that we have. Like, that you ain't got no fucking no dignity about yourself. You ain't got no what is it? No morality, no values. You understand? You're that desperate for representation that you got to hold on to César Chávez. I don't want a predator representing me, man. What the hell? I don't give a damn if we don't know the truth yet. That person up there in power that's supposed to be representing me is accused of those crimes. I do not want them representing me because I have morals, man. Right? And then here's another thing. They're shaming Raza for wanting César Chávez statues taken down, for the names for César Chávez being erased. And y'all out here talking about it's a conspiracy. Y'all jumping on the bandwagon. Y'all, teaming with the Democrats and whatnot. When y'all could have spun this around the other way, y'all could have said, look at how much morality the Raza has. Look at how much morality the Raza has versus America.
Right.
America has a predator in office for president, and they won't do a damn thing. Don't even want to turn their back on their president. The Raza had no issue turning their back on a man that was accused of sexual abuse, of being a predator. Because we have morals as a people, man. You follow a country that doesn't have morals, and that's your problem. Salakis.
I was gonna say this real quick. I remember the other cat too, right? The one that you showed earlier.
Chicano too.
Yeah, he was saying that this is dividing the raza. He was saying that this right here, since they spoke out, that the raza is now divided. But like, come on, like Chavez is the one that divided the raza.
Right.
He divided the raza by what he was saying.
Right.
He divided the raza by he was pretty much pinning the legals against the illegals.
Right.
He's telling the legals, man, they're coming over here and they're ruining it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get rights, and they're coming over here and they're taking the jobs, and now we don't have a job.
Right.
That whole thing of them coming over here and taking the jobs, man, that's what the oppressor tells us. That's what the devil tells us. The devil tells us the Mexicans are coming over here and taking all your homes, they're taking your communities, and they're taking your jobs.
Right.
Like, come on, you got to be an airhead to really believe that.
Right, sir.
Go ahead, Oscar.
I was gonna say, like, because you brought this up to my mind. Trump was trying to do that with our brothers, so-called black people, because of course he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it now with Latinos because we're not on that type of vibe that César Chávez was. Some of us are, but there's more of us who stand with our people who are from Mexico. That's why you saw these marches,
right,
and these riots, and us on the freeway, and supporting our paleteros and all this and that, and unity. But you still have your little sellouts. But the U.S. knew that they can't play that card where, they'll come over here and taking our jobs, Hispanics, because they know we would not fall for that. So they try to get our brothers, so-called black people, who they know would work on better, and say they taking your jobs. And it did work. You understand?
Right.
I'm gonna say that people like Chavez still exist today. You're seeing these cats on these podcasts, who like I said, give Chavez his praise. These are people who love America. They're damn near like Republicans. America first, church and but they don't want to. These cats right here too.
This is who they are. Salakia.
Go back to Mexico. Go back to Mexico, fool. What's going on, man? You like it so bad? Go back. Why are you here?
That's them. Salakia.
They got a lot of white friends.
But listen, like these cats right here. Okay, he's saying, if you don't like it here, go back. Why are you here? Brother, you gonna wish you was in Mexico because America is about to go to war. Now, y'all love this country, y'all love this nation so much, y'all don't even understand that y'all gonna get put to death. You know what I'm saying? You don't even understand that God hates this nation. That God hates this country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you are the type to love this nation, love this country, brother, you gonna perish with it, because
Right.
the Most High is against this nation, and that is why you cannot follow cats like the Cholo. What's his name?
American Cholo.
And what's the other cat's name? What's the
Chicano
podcast?
2.
Chicano 2, American Cholo. These guys are gonna lead you to death. These cats right here,
Right.
because you best believe that these guys got followers. You got people who watch them and think that these cats are some type of role models.
God damn.
As ridiculous as that sounds,
Yeah,
there's people that
come
look
on.
at these cats as role models. And these cats go for cats that are in the street.
Right.
You know? And you look at them as role models, but what you don't understand that these guys are going to lead you to death, man, because they love this nation, they love this country, and the
Right.
Most High is against it.
Right.
If we can get the scripture too real quick, where it says that the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom.
Come on.
We're gonna
like
read this real quick. Go ahead, Black Man.
Now I was gonna say, there's a reason why Commander Junior Hanna always brought it out. Entertainers are not leaders.
Right.
I'm pulling that scripture up right now. Also, I got your article for the wet line.
Yeah, man, right. Oh, go ahead. You got it.
No, I said that, because he was talking about, him, they reduced everything that César Chávez did, not knowing the rest, he acting like he don't know the other shit that he's done, right? The other stuff he's done. It's Amos 9 and 8.
What's that up?
Come on.
All right, I swore no across that.
Hey, Shalom, sir, sure with the. I got it right here out of one. Amos 9 and 8.
All right, come on, let's get it.
Come. I think we lost Commodore too, man. I think he's having issues with his phone. But so this is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
Hey, man, that's in the Bible, man. That's in the scriptures. Amos 9 and 8. The eyes of the Lord is watching the sinful kingdom. That's this place right here. That's America. That's what American Cholo need to see right there. He named himself American.
Right.
A lot of raza named themselves Americans.
Right.
A lot of raza will defend this country before they defend their own race of people.
Right.
Blindly. They don't understand that the Lord is against the sinful kingdom. Why is it the sinful kingdom? Why do they call it the sinful kingdom? Because this kingdom that you're living in promotes sin. You know what I'm saying? You're taught sin from the time that you're born.
Right.
You taught adultery, which is you having sex with another man's wife. That's glorified. And you know what I'm saying? From the time you go to high school, middle school, you're taught that you should have sex with another man's wife, another man's girl, take another nigga's girl, take another homie's girl. That's what you're taught. LGBTQ, transsexuals, robbing, murder. You know what I'm saying? The movie industry, music industry teaches you about sin. And the Lord's eyes is upon it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is upon the sinful kingdom. Can you read after that?
Come on. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
That's what American Cholo and the Cholo or whatever podcast, that they don't know that this country that they love is about to get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like they believe in this nation. They believe this is the greatest country on the face of the earth.
Right.
And they have faith in it. They believe in you work hard, you're gonna get the American dream. Listen, that American dream, that shit is over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That whole thing of you're gonna retire and you're gonna be on the beach and you're gonna be with the family, that's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because those times are out of here. Right now, you're living in a time where you're gonna be sent to the Middle East to go fight World War III. World War III is around the corner. Right now, you should expect grocery stores to be shut down.
Right.
Hospitals to be shut down. You got food, you got water. Do you have medicine in your crib?
Right.
You have these things. Are these fools telling you? You know what I'm saying? Are these fools telling you that?
Right. No.
Are they telling you to
They're
stack
not
up
telling-
on food, stack up on water, stack up on medicine, get a generator? You know what I'm saying? Are they telling you all hell's about to break loose? No, they're not. They're over there talking about, why are you saying that about Cesar Chavez? We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about Chavez because this cat is leading you to the American dream. He's
Right.
leading you to the whole thing of America, and we're telling you that is gone. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That whole dream of prosperity and then making money and living a good life in America, man, you better wake the hell up, man. Anybody that's telling you that, man, is lying to your face. We telling you the truth, which is that you better have fucking 7 gallons of 5 gallons of water. You know, you better have you better stock up on food. You know, because man, shit is about to hit the fan. Gas
Right,
is about
sir.
$5.50 right now, right? And
Right.
still going up.
Concert.
You know, and you getting paid $17 an hour, $18 an hour, barely making it with your rent. You know,
Right.
and these fools is talking about some stupid shit. Salakia.
Now, if I could, sir, I was gonna say this is what they teach you. They teach you to go vote. They telling you
Oh,
to go
they-
vote and join the army, join the Marines, go fight for America. Show how grateful you are for this country. That's what they telling you.
Come
You
on,
understand?
man. If you could read a little bit more,
Kawakasir.
I would destroy it.
Kawakasir. I will destroy from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
And who's a Jacob? Who's Jacob? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, West Indians, people who are so-called Mexicans, so-called Salvadorians, Hondureños, you know, people from Guatemala, you know what I mean? People from South America, people from
Right.
the islands, Native American Indians, black people.
Right.
You know, that's the house of Jacob. And you know, some of us are gonna die here. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are gonna perish with America.
Right.
Because you follow fools like this who teach you to love this place.
Right.
You know, because the people like this that teach you about voting and being a Republican, like these cats are gonna lead you astray. People like these two Cholo cats, Chavez, you know, Latinos for Trump, your entertainers, your rappers, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're gonna lead you astray. It's like you wanna say something?
I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't want. So like I have that wet line ready for you.
Is there any more on this though?
Oh yeah, this is the next part. It says, this is the next verse. It says, "For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve."
That was it. That was it. Slacky.
Come. It says, so I'll just read the last part. It says, "Yet shall not the least grain fail upon the earth." Come. But yeah, I don't want like that. That's crazy, you know. And yeah, like they gonna lead you to your death, you know, because the Lord is not with them. You understand? The Lord is not with any of these entertainers, man. They've been bought. So like you, sir. That's just the way I say. I'd say like they've been bought. You know, you know. And what I mean by that is because they say this, they'll say controversial things like this because they're getting paid. They're going for views. They're going for controversy, not realizing what they're doing. You know. But so like I have.
Like you think that these cats are gonna help you when shit hit the fan?
Hell no.
When there ain't no lights, ain't no electricity, you know, when the lines are long at the store, you know, are they gonna help your child? They're gonna help your kids when you need help? But I would not put my money on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't gamble with that.
Right.
You know, but there are brothers out there that will help you. That's the Israel School UPK. We will help you.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't like us because we talk about Chavez.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You better take it to the chin and really understand where we're coming from when we talk about Chavez. And this is really nothing. This is an easy work right here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's just so much dirt on him.
Right.
You know. But let's read the article.
Come on. This article is titled "Chavez, the UFW, and the Wetback Problem." This is written back in 2014, right? Because and I'm pointing out that date because these cats are acting like people are barely bringing this out now. This been brought out, man. And it says, I began my research at Wayne State University's Ruther Library in Detroit, Michigan, where I looked at the United Farm Workers files for documents regarding the union and its historical stance on undocumented immigration. My next post will move into a discussion of undocumented immigrant life in Central California. To hear UFW leaders' rhetoric on illegal immigration and the plight of undocumented people, and to then study its trajectory and its previous stance on the issue is truly revealing and disheartening. Today, the union's leaders call themselves longtime champions of immigration reform. The historical record, however, reveals an uglier and more complicated history. Chavez and the UFW were so against wetbacks that they formed their own private border patrol. Chavez and the UFW were so against wetbacks that they formed their own private border patrol. César Chávez was, in fact, deeply hostile toward wetbacks. As he and many others of this time called them, he was relentless in his efforts to halt immigration from Mexico and was active in pursuing the deportation of those already here. Good night. So not only was he trying to keep people from coming in, Adawan, he was going and trying to deport people that were already here. You know what that sounds like today? When you see Raza out there threatening to call ICE on the eloteros.
That's what he was doing. So those cats, yeah, exactly what you just said. We see videos like that all the time where some Mexican, dark ass Mexican saying, "Oh, I'm calling ICE. Are you got your papers? Are you legal? If you're not, I'm gonna call ICE." We have that one video where that one cat saying, "I'm gonna call ICE on your wetback ass." There's a video. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I remember that one. Right.
I'm gonna call ICE on your wetback ass. You wetback. That's what he was doing in the 70s. Except they weren't called ICE back then. I believe they were called I think it was INS.
Immigration, yeah, come.
The INS, that's what they were called. Let
me see if I got the video right here. I don't want, so we could share that. But for meantime, I'll keep reading the article. It says Chavez was in fact deeply hostile toward wetbacks, as he and many others of this time called them. He was relentless in his efforts to halt immigration from Mexico and was active in pursuing the deportation of those already here. Chavez claimed that undocumented workers were driving down wages and crucially being used as strikebreakers. And so, sir, I just want to stop right there to say this, right? And this is why I'm definitely going to take pleasure in calling him a cagado and a piece of mierda, because he, instead of charging the farmers that were hiring undocumented immigrants, right, and paying them very little in harsh conditions, he's blaming the undocumented immigrants for coming over here.
Right.
Like a lot of you clowns out there, man. Y'all blame the raza for trying to come over here to work hard and escape poverty, man. Instead of blaming the businesses that abuse our people, you blame our people, man. You want to talk about, us having righteous representation and whatnot? Well, then step up and be the righteous representation by stepping up for your people and being righteous. Not attacking your people for them trying to live righteously, man. For them trying to make an honest living. Even if that business is trying to, cheat them, blame the business. Don't blame our people. What the hell is wrong with y'all? It's Salakia.
Damn right. No, you're right. Absolutely.
Okay. Both complaints had merit. Of course, Mexican immigrants were routinely used to break strikes. Their desperate situation often led them to take whatever work they could get, even if it meant clashing with the UFW's goals. And certainly, all of these dynamics played a role in wage depression. What is disturbing about Chavez and the union's actions is how rigid and unwillingly they were to consider that the issue was more complicated. Some Chicano organizations and leaders, among them Bert Corona, cautioned Chavez that alienating undocumented workers was a disastrous mistake.
Right.
Others imagine that.
So they're telling him, you're making a mistake by leaving them out.
Right.
You know, and they're trying to let this cat know. You know, but let me not jump ahead.
Okay. Oh, shit, where was that? Others complained that Chavez was spending entirely too much of his and the union's efforts on illegals campaign. Others still worried that Chavez was making enemies of people who, in fact, were allies in this class and social struggle. So not only was he a cagado, he was a pendejo.
Yeah.
You know, straight up. Did the wetback issue and the union's stance on undocumented immigrants cause its phenomenal downfall? Probably not. As Matt Garcia has argued in his controversial but much needed study on the rise and fall of the UFW, Chavez and his union took numerous missteps and made a plethora of mistakes. Frank Bardak and Miriam Powell have made similar claims, but we should not be surprised to find that many undocumented immigrants today are unwilling to join a union that just a few decades ago vilified and blamed them for all of the union's problems. And that's so crazy, sir, because these are the people that tell you can't blame the white man for your problems, right? You can't blame America. If you got an issue with America, leave. But yet you'll go and blame your own people for your problems. You'll go and blame, the raza for your problems. Don't dare blame the white man, though. That's the problem with your Uncle Toms, man, your Tío Tomases, man. Did the wetback, where am I? The UFW today is largely ineffectual. Absolutely. They can't even stop ICE from raiding the farms right now. How many incidents? What great achievement did César Chávez make? He can't. His union can't even stop ICE. The UFW today is largely ineffectual, and although today it supports the legalization of millions of people already here, the anti-immigrant legacy of its leader created a monster whose impact is still felt in our day. By alienating immigrants, by focusing on the wrong enemy, and by refusing to consider the advice of knowledgeable and forward-thinking people, Chavez and his union contributed to a toxic and troubling trend of immigrant scapegoating and internal fracturing. To correct this, the union will have to do more than pay lip service to the plight of the undocumented. It will have to show it truly is committed to all farm workers, legal and undocumented alike, and that is prepared to learn from its past mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you, sir, if I could, I did want to bring out a scripture.
Go ahead, you got it. You want to read it for you? Let me see.
Come on, let me just get it first.
I gotta pull it up because I can't see through that screen.
Yeah, come on. It's the one that says that if the head is sick, the body is sick. Let me find it. I'll get it right now. I think it's, what is it? Is it Isaiah 1 and 5? Let me go to Isaiah 1 and 5. I got it. I'll pull it. But definitely, man. Oh, yeah. It's Isaiah 1 and 5, sir. I got it right here. I'll read it, sir. It's no sweat.
All right. Okay. No
it's
sweat.
right here. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will remote more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot, Salakia, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores that have not been closed, neither bound up, Now they're mollified with ointment. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. So like it up. Was that it, or is that's not it, huh?
I'm not sure if that's the scripture you're looking for, right? Is that
where it says if the head is sick, the whole body is sick? I gotta look it up. It sounds like it though. It says, let me start at verse. Let me go to verse 4. Verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, that have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. From soul to foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises, putrefying sores that have not been closed. Now, so like I might have the wrong precept. I'll look at it right now. But basically, the Bible says this, right? That if the head is sick, the whole body is sick. And I say that to say this. What has to happen with the UFW is it has to stop existing. You got to get rid of the UFW. And you got to, because César Chávez being the head of that movement, already stained the organization. The things he did and taught show how corrupt that organization is, man. So what has to be done is you got to get rid of it. Get rid of the UFW, get rid of César Chávez, erase all that and start from scratch. If y'all want the truth, this is what I'm going to tell y'all out there. Y'all should come to the ISUPK and talk to Commander General Hanna. You know, and he'll give you, you know, the right way to do it. If César Chávez would have been learning from the ISUPK and learning from Commander General Hanna, he would have never did those things to those girls. That's one. Two, he would have never came against his own people, right? And he would have actually been a righteous leader. But best believe, go ahead, sir.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you got another one. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say with the United Farm Workers, right? They took down the statues, right? I believe they don't want to celebrate the César Chávez Day because of what he did to the women, right? Because of allegations. Right. So they're pretty much like canceling them out. But they were okay with what he was saying about the illegal immigrations, but the illegal immigrants. You know, the way he treated illegals, you know, the way that he abused them and used them. They were okay with that. Like, they didn't have a problem with that. You get what I'm saying? So I would hold them accountable as well. Like, they're just as bad as him.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely, sir.
Because obviously they knew what was going on. You know, and they went to the border. I don't know. That article didn't mention how they went to the border, right? And started abusing them.
Right. Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay.
It did. It said they did not only did they go to the border, they were doing it here. Like I said,
they were calling the INS
more than likely we're doing that.
But there's one that's more in detail though. There's one that's more detail how they were at the border and they were just beating up on you know, people who were crossing the border. And that one video I'm trying to find is where the same old man, the same brother, is talking about how they were doing that. You know?
So like I don't want I think I might have found this right here. Let me share this. Look at this. It says, I asked the question that said, you know, Chavez attacking people at border. It says this. The query refers to past activities associated with labor leader César Chávez and a recent news story about his history of alleged abuse. There are two relevant interpretations of Chávez attacking people at border. Number one, historical actions related to the border. Decades ago, César Chávez United Farm Workers Union, in an effort to prevent undocumented immigrants from being used as strikebreakers, organized campaigns near the U.S.-Mexico border wetlands. In the 1970s, the UFW set up wetlands along the Rio Grande to discourage people from crossing the border, crossing into the United States. violence allegations. During a 1974-1975 strike near Yuma, Arizona, a judge later ruled that the UFW had used violence. News reports from the time and FBI files mentioned incidents of beatings and violence directed at individuals attempting to cross the border by UFW representatives, including Chavez's cousin, Manuel Chavez. Reporting undocumented immigrants. UFW members also reported undocumented immigrants to the Immigration and Naturalization Service of INS. So, Salaki, sir, pardon my French, but fuck the UFW. You know, and that I had to say it like that because that I got no respect for that movement, for that organization, man, given that history.
Right. Not that most definitely. But you see what they were doing, right?
Right.
You know, they gonna tell you that in school. They gonna tell you what he was doing to, you know, people coming from the border. You know, they set up at the border and they were beating up on so-called illegals. You know, and that's why when we read earlier, they were saying that Chavez spent too much time, you know, fighting against illegals. And they were saying like it's pretty much backfiring because these people can help us, you know. But his stance was like against illegal immigration. And he went as far as to go to the border. But you know how far it is from Delano or Northern California from the border of Arizona?
Good night.
They went out their way to drive out there or fly out there, whatever, to go to that border of Arizona. They said the Rio Grande. Didn't they say Rio Grande?
Yeah, the Rio Grande.
God damn. So they went all over there to what? To make a point, make a statement? Like, come on, man. That's some real Uncle Tom shit right there. Salaki. You know?
If I could, sir. Now I see why he was deemed as an American hero. Because he absolutely was an American hero. He attacked his own people for America. He hated his own people for America. And what's that let you know, Raza? That America hates you too. America hates Latinos. America hates undocumented migrants, man. America, this oppressor, man, being the devil that the Bible speaks of, hates you, Raza.
They hate the Raza, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they love Mexicans like that, though.
Mexicans
like that, Mexicans like American Cholo and Chicano podcast. Those are the good ones right there. Even though these cats say they come from a whole different background, those cats right there, because of what they speak and say, will be accepted. Like those are the ones that, you know, are acceptable in here because they will shit on their own people and bash on their own people, you know, just like Chavez did.
You know, sir, and that's crazy, right? This is what's coming out. And based on this man's character, how can you deny that he might be think that he, for 1 second, he would not be capable of harming and abusing, you know, women? I brought it out, like I had mentioned, right, in the past two shows, well, in the class and then the show, that I would not be surprised if you find out that what he was doing was also preying on undocumented women and scaring them into, you know, sleeping with him. Why? Because that's what ICE agents do, right? We brought out stories about ICE agents terrorizing undocumented women and tricking them and scaring them into sleeping with them.
Hey, wait till you find out he was LGBTQ.
Oh, good night.
People are really gonna be mad.
You're gonna have heart attacks.
Hey, Slap, I'm about to wrap it up.
I know we at the top of the hour, sir. You know,
about to wrap it up. Oh, go ahead, my Slap. You got it.
No, I'll say so, but you know, as we showed in today's episode, right? We showed more of his character, right? And we showed how they try to, you know, silence the victims. I might, you know, talk on it some more in a future show, right? And now we know why, like why there's so much silence around, you know, and all that, because they didn't want this getting known. But that's the Lord. The Lord is gonna bring out what's done in the darkness. You know, whatever you're doing in the darkness, the Lord is gonna bring it to light, right? That's in the book of Proverbs, which I brought out. I think it was in the last class. Is it 22:1? Let's see, and then I'm gonna close out. Yeah. This is Proverbs 22:1. I'll read it, sir. I got it right here. I'm sure. Then it says, "A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold." Right? And that's what happened with Cesar Chavez. He cared more about money. He cared more about, he was getting, and that's why I said, sir, that he might have been, paid off by, he might have been bought. Because why all of, his stance and everything, what he experienced, and why he was so focused on the undocumented, migrants. Could have been they were paying him to do that,
Could be.
The rich and the poor meet together. The Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man pursues the evil and hid himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Like, is this it? So like, this isn't it. That was a wrong precept.
Which one are you looking for?
Whatsoever is done in the darkness, thou does in darkness, the Lord shall bring the light. Oh, it's Luke. It's Luke 12:3. Here it goes. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear and closets shall be proclaimed upon housetops. I'll go to 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Yeah, I'm gonna say this, right? You want to claim it's a conspiracy theory, right? That it's the Democrats, trying to bring down Cesar Chavez. I'm going to tell you who brought down Cesar Chavez. God brought down Cesar Chavez. God brought down the UFW. You understand? Right. God took away his holiday and his legacy of all the good he did because he was never doing anything good. You understand? Right. And that's what happened. You think you can do things hiding behind the scenes and thinking, people don't know. But what you don't know is that God is watching what you do. Right. But Salakia, that was it, Arwan. I know we at the top of the hour. It's late, man. We got, we got slaveries in the morning. So with that, man, that concludes tonight's episode. We're gonna go back at it. I probably, Lord Allah can go live during the week and cover some more. But with that, I want to say, man, Tawada for everyone tuning in. Let me shout out the chat. We got Michael Love, Tawada, man. We had Matam Yad. Who else we have in here? We had the sister Mariah, Officer Madabar, Officer Rakar Riyah, Officer Commandant, Officer Oscar Warman, Tawada for tuning in with us. Like, share, and subscribe. You got any questions or comments? Put them on, put them on our videos when you check it out later. You can find us ISUPK. What is it? The Inconvenient Truth 1969 on Twitter, X, IG, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Also, the Inconvenient Truth 1969 at gmail.com. If you want to talk to us, contact us, DM us, man. But Lord Allah, we're going to be back at it again next week. And also, just a heads up, Rasa, the Lord's 57th Passover, man. Coming up, man, in less than in a couple weeks, man. Houston, Texas, man. Rasa, for all you Rasa, all you Mexicans that are learning that you're Issachar now, man. Now is the time to come serve God. You're seeing what's happening outside the ISUPK when the Lord is not with you, man. Y'all want to be like crooked like the UFW, or you want to come serve God, man? You can start by coming to the Passover, the Lord's Passover, 57th Passover in Houston, Texas, man. And Kamada said, Khan, he told a minor, don't say anything because they'll get jealous. He said that in the darkness. Now it got brought to like, yeah, Khan, and actually definitely in the later, Lord allow, in the future episode, we can go more into that, sir. But the water, man. But the water, everyone for tuning in, man. Lord's 57th Passover, April 4th, Houston, Texas. Be there, Rasa. With that, I want to say shalom.
All right, shalom, Israel. Shalom, Israel.
The ISUPK presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Saludos para todos ustedes. Este año entrando se va a estar. Saludos a toda la raza, a todo negro, latino, hispano, indio, indígena que se encuentra en las Américas. Saludos para todos ustedes. Este año entrando se va a estar celebrando, ¿verdad?, la fiesta solemne de la Pascua, o lo que conocemos como el Passover, que es una ordenanza y mandamiento de Dios que todos, ¿verdad?, tienen que participar, todos tienen que unirse y celebrar, ¿verdad?, esta fiesta, ¿verdad?, que es parte de nuestra herencia, parte de nuestra ley, ¿verdad?, como dice en el libro de Éxodos, capítulo 12, en el verso 14, dice: y este día os será en memoria y lo celebraréis como fiesta solemne para Yahweh durante vuestras generaciones. Por estatuto perpetuo lo celebrarás. Así que ya saben, mi raza, mi gente, ¿verdad?, en este año entrando se va a celebrar, ¿verdad?, la Pascua del Señor, ¿verdad? Todo mentado negro, latino, hispano, ¿verdad?, es ordenado allí. Este año, como ven, va a ser en Houston, Texas, ¿verdad? Para todos los que puedan ir, vénganse. Ahí estaremos celebrando, ¿verdad?, desde el miércoles hasta toda la semana. Así que ahí nos vemos. Shalom.
Andando los dos tomando.